Hello, hello. Hey, Westside. Hey, Richard. Hey, Doug. Hoping being on a different night we'll get a decent turnout. How's everybody doing? Hey, Bo. Tuesday moving forward. We'll go over that here shortly. Indeed. So yeah, sorry for the weird scheduling lately. But yeah, with the combination of the 2025 NFL season starting in a couple of weeks, plus Angela's new schedule and everything, we are going to be on Tuesdays again. Back to our old Tuesday slot. That'll be at minimum at least through the NFL season, because I don't want to. I never like to have to try and compete with the Thursday night football. Plus, it's going to make it easier on me. Well, yeah, I want to watch the Eagles, but most of the time that's on Sunday. Granted, yeah, the season opener this year is Thursday night football, Eagles and Dallas in Philly, so I'm definitely not missing that game. No, it's always easier on me too when it's on Tuesdays, because a lot of the times when I'm on Thursdays, I don't get most of the payments in until Monday morning. And then I've only got a short time to be able to rush out, grab new stuff, cram getting it all put together, and get the list out, which is why a lot of times lately it's been coming out on Wednesdays. Because, you know, if all the payments aren't in by Friday morning, then that means I have to wait through the whole weekend until Monday for the shops to be open again. Whereas on Tuesday, you know, if I at least get enough payments in by, you know, say Friday morning, then I can still go out that day. And then I can usually, like back in the day, I can usually have it out by Sunday. So, helpful all around. My goal has always been to have 2 nights a week. But, you know, we've never gotten to a point where we have A, enough viewers to justify doing it, and B, enough inventory. So, if we can ever get to having enough of both, then that would definitely be a thing that I will be doing. We just got to get there. Because I'm kind of wanting to get to a point where the basic Tuesday sale is like the normal everyday stuff, and then doing like a Thursday or a Friday short sale. That's like a much smaller list, but much higher end stuff. That's what I've been wanting to eventually get to. Hopefully we'll get there eventually. We shall see. All right, gonna give it a few more minutes, let folks filter in. We're up to 6 now. And if anybody's wondering, for me to do that, I would want to be, regularly between 20 and 30 people every stream. Hey, Otis. And I do have some early bird items here that I'm going to be showing too. Items that were not on the list. And they are on consignment, so if they don't sell, then they're going back to the owner. All right, let's get the beginning stuffs out the way. Richard, you already know what they are. All right, for anybody new, payments made via PayPal. Use cheapskatecoins@gmail.com. Use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email. Cheapskatecoins@gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Kachera. That's me. You are in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being a little purple bubble mailer, $23 being a large flat rate box. If you want your package sent registered, there's an additional $45 charge on top of that. It is the only way you can insure coins all the way through the mail. Remember, if you have it sent registered, you will have to sign for it when it arrives, so keep that in mind. We do also hold packages if you want to maximize your shipping, so just make sure you let us know, hold your package. I always recommend email us just to make sure we remember. If you're new, you can't get stuff tonight. You just have to email us by the end of the night. Email has to have your personal info, shipping info, your channel name, so we know who you are, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If we don't get that email, you will not get anything, and we never ship without payments. Here is the Facebook link. If you're on Facebook, go give us a like. Tonight's lot list is on there. It is the top post. We do put the lot list on Facebook every day we have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot us an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say, add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list a few days. Lately it's been a day, but I'm trying to get back to getting, 2-3 days before every sale. But either way, as soon as that lot list hits your email, you have the ability to pre-purchase items. It is first come, first serve, just like our sales. So if you see something, don't wait, jump on it. And we do not charge right away for pre-sales. We wait until after the sale, and then we invoice everybody together. So you're basically just putting a reserve on it, on a promise that you're going to pay for it. And then, of course, once we put the lot list on Facebook the day of the sale, anything that went in pre-purchase has been removed. So what is on there is what is available. And by the way, that's pretty much the only thing the mailing list gets used for. Like, you're not going to get bombarded with mail from me. The only other thing we really use it for is, like, if there's a special event coming, we'll alert everybody, or if there's a scheduling change, we'll alert everybody on the mailing list. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, I do send out the lot list as a spam mail to everybody, so make sure that you check your spam and junk folders if you're not seeing it. And go find it and tell them that it's not junk. That way it'll go to your inbox. So, alrighty. So, yeah, once again, for everybody that wasn't here before, we are going to be back on Tuesdays. So, keep that in mind. Same start time. We are going to be on Tuesdays at least through the NFL season. So, that means at least through February. So keep that in mind. All right. Give me a second. I gotta type these in. So as I said, I do have some early bird. It's 6 lots. They're all the same lot, but let me do it real quick. I gotta type it in so I can link it. I forgot to do that. Almost done. One more second. Learn how to type. Alright, so again, there are 6 of these available. Hey, Musaks. And I have had some of you asking for these, so hopefully at least a couple of you will pick one up. Alright, these are 1974 20 Balboas from Panama. 925 sterling silver. These are almost 4 ounces of silver. They are gem BUs. Only 99,000 minted. My camera's not working. Alright, give me a sec, guys. I gotta reset my camera. If it disappears, hit refresh and look for a new stream. But I'm going to see if I can get this fast enough to... Alright, is everything working? Can you guys hear me? Hello. Scope working. Yep. Alright, awesome. So yeah, there we go. 1974 20 Balboa. Jim BU. These guys are 225 bucks each. The melt alone on these as we speak as of right this very second, the melt value on these is $144.21. And again, there are 6 of them available. Here's number 2. 3. You can make payments. Here's number 5. And there is number 6. And if for any reason anybody wants multiple, I can give you a little bit better deal. And there went my camera again. What is up with my camera today? All right, I got to reset this again real quick. Give me 1 second. Did it go? Nope, I didn't get it. Dang it. Sorry guys, bear with me. I don't know what is going on with my camera tonight. Yep, I think my camera just died. Dang it. Well, I was going to make this interesting because that means that we may have to try and play with the scope for everything. But all right. If it's what we got to do, it's what we got to do. Granted, you're only going to see like his eyeballs. It's all right. Anybody on these? Again, you can make payments. Yeah, unfortunately, Bo, I got to give them back if they don't sell, which is not looking like they're going to because nobody's speaking up. It's actually surprising because I know I've had people asking for these. But, alright. These are going back to the owner then. Alright, on to our regularly scheduled items. And again, doing this with just the scope is going to be interesting, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to have to play with that camera later or see if I got to replace it or something. Alright, give me one sec. I'm going to get this thing out of my way since we're not going to be using it. Whatever, go over there. Okay. I don't even know how the heck I'm going to show the first lot now. Actually, yeah, I do. Alright, so first lot on the list. I probably have this on here for a lot cheaper than I should. But this is a US typeset case and album. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go full face cam. So here's the album. 20th century US type coins. No coins in it, obviously. So that's the album. And then here is the case. It comes with an insert that shows you everything to put in there. Here's the case. So $10 for the pair. Anybody? Wow, even at $10, nobody wants those? You're getting the case and an album. Going to Richard. Kratzer. Alright, back to this one since the other one's not working. Alright. Next up, banknotes. So if you guys looked at the list, you know banknotes are a little different tonight. We only have 3 that are true world banknotes. First one is a 1963 5 peso Mexico. I'm gonna have to show this under the scope, so bear with me since the other camera's not working right now. Anybody? Over $3. I know it's kind of hard to see it. I apologize. Fighting through these technical issues. But the show must go on. I don't know. Maybe I can just do these on the face cam too. Let's see. Is that a little better? Just doing it this way. Apparently, going to Richard. Gratzer. Richard beat you by a hair, Bo. All right, next one up, we have 2 available. These are 2013 100 Bolivars. They are uncirculated. I just forgot to put that on there. These are at $2 each. These are from Venezuela. Got the cool bird on the back. And both going to Richard. Gratzer. All right, next one I have got in some of the old military payment certificates this week. First one is 1951 Series 481. This is a 5-cent U.S. military payment certificate. Hey, Dandy Dave. Yeah, we're back on Tuesdays again. We're going to be back on Tuesdays at least through February. It's going for $10. This is what they used to give the military guys for spending on the bases at the commissary. All right, moving on. Next up is also a 5-cent, but it is 1954 Series 521. Also going for $10. Anybody? First should be fine. That's only a little over a week away. So, Doug, if you want one and pay for it on the 1st, I can put you down for one. Alright, moving on. Alright, give me a sec. Let me put you down for one. Alright, I got it on there. Alright, next up, 1951, Series 481. This is a 10 cent. Over 10 bucks. Anybody? Alright, moving on. I'm surprised nobody's interested in these. And just like the 5 cent, we've also got the 1954 10 cent from Series 521. All right, moving on. To the 1946 Series 461 50 cent. Man, nothing. All right, moving on. All right, last of these. And this is the 1958 Series 541 $1 note. This one is going for 20 bucks. This one is a rare, the rarest of the bunch I've got today. I can do a little bit of a bundle if anybody wants to bundle them all together. Do tell. If you wanted all of them, I can do it for 60 bucks. That'd knock 10 bucks off. And Dandy Dave's taking the deal. Oops. Here, let me get these all marked. Alrighty. Alright, next up, still on banknotes. Is 1946 Series 100 50-cent Japan World War II Allied military note. Going for $4. $4. $4. Going to Richard Gratzer. All right. Next one up is a 1944 1 mark Germany Allied military note, $4. Going to Richard. Gratza. And next up is 1943 1 Lyre Italy. Going for $4. The Allied militaries. Or lira, not liar, sorry. Alright, moving on. To the 1943 5 lyre. Or lira. Whichever. No, it is lyre. Okay. World War II Allied military note. Alright, moving on. To the 1944 2 franc Allied military note. That would be your France. Moving on. And the last of these. $1944 10 franc. France Allied military note. And if anybody wants the last 4, I can do them as a bundle for 12. Saves you $4. And Richard's taking the deal. Tell you what, Richard, since you got the other 2, I'll knock $1 off each one of those too. So you get them all for $3 across the board. Grats and grats. My arm's gonna get tired. Luckily, those were the last banknotes. Alright. On to coinage. Alright, first lot. This is from Panama as well. This is the 1969 1 centesimo, 5 centesimo, the 1/10 Balboa, and the quarter Balboa proofs. Each one of these coins only had 14,000 minted. And I'm only doing it for $4 for the bundle. So pretty much you're paying for this one and getting the rest for free. Oh yeah, these things are beautiful. If nobody gets these tonight, I might actually keep these. There's the 5. And again, only 14,000 of each of these was ever made. And Doug's taking this one. Congrats, Doug. You're gonna have the 71. There you go. Which brings us to our next one. Also, each one of these only had 14,000 ever made. The 1971s. There again is your 1 centavo, or centesimo. $5 centesimo. $1/10 Balboa. And the quarter Balboa. And just like with that 1969 set, you're basically paying for this coin and getting the rest for free. Anybody? $4. Going to Bo Gratzer. All right, one more coin from Panama tonight. By the way, if anybody missed it, hey Deborah, shipping is $6 to $23. $6 is like the little purple bubble mailers, and then 23 will be a large flat rate box. If you're in a small flat rate box or padded mailer, it's $10.50. If you're in a medium flat rate box, it's $16. And we do whole packages if you want to maximize your shipping. And if anybody missed it in the beginning, these are on consignment. We only have 5 left. One of them did sell. These are 1974 20 Balboas. Jim B used. They're $225 each. $925 sterling silver. There's almost 4 ounces of silver in these coins. There's still 5 available. If they don't sell tonight, they're going back to the owner. You can make payments on it. But if anybody wants one, you got to speak up tonight. All right, but next up, we do have one more Panama. It is the lowest mintage year of the 1 Balboa proofs. It is the 1972. Only 10,000 of these were minted. 90% silver proof. It is $75. For the proof Balboas, this is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, this will be the key date. Because it is the hardest one to come by. I can do 70. Going to Doug for 70. Congrats. Yeah, if you cover that this week, that would be helpful. All right. So that way I can go get new stuff. And again, for anybody new coming in, I apologize. Everything tonight has to be under the scope because my overhead camera died in the beginning of the stream. I don't know why. All right, next up, 2 of these available. They are the same coin. We were talking about these during the last stream. These are 1952 1 guldens. These are from Netherlands Antilles. We get the Netherlands guldens all the time, not the Antilles ones. 72% silver in fine. They are $18 each. Again, 2 available. They're both the same grade. And $18 a piece. Netherlands Antilles. That's the first one. Here is the second one. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, next up, we have one coin from Switzerland. It is a 1944 1 franc. 83.5% silver, VF, going for $8. I think an argument could probably be made as an EF, but I wanted to play it safe. So I went with a VF. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, next up is Canada. So we did have some Canada went in pre-sale. The 1936, 10 cent, the 1943, 10 cent and fine, and the 1960, 10 cent went in pre-sale. So we are kicking off with the 1943 EF. Which is going for $4. 80% silver. Anybody? All right, moving on. To the 1953 EF for $4. Someone's got some toning going on. Anybody? All right, moving on. right, next one up. There's 3 available. These are 1964s. The first one is AU for $4. That's this one. And then the other 2 are BU proof likes, which are $6 each. And there's 2 of those. There is number 1. Hey, Ben. Check that out. That is gorgeous. That is a frosty reverse. And then here is number 2. Anybody? So again, we got the AU for $4, and then the 2 BU proof likes are $6 each. And this one's going to Dandy Dave. That's under the camera. You got it, sir. Anybody on the other one? You're welcome, sir. All right, moving on. Next up, we have 1 quarter. And this is actually one of the harder to get dates. Should be almost like a semi key date for the 25 centers. At only 846,000 minted. This is the 1903 25 cent, the old King Edward. NGC list on this coin is $30. I'm doing it for 18. This is a tougher year to get, folks, so get it while it's available. Wow, nobody. Thought sure somebody would have wanted that. 925 sterling silver, by the way. I forgot to mention it. All right, moving on. All right, next up, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next 7 lots are the, for those that are familiar, these are the Canadian case dollars. They are 50% silver proof dollars. And every year had a different design on them. These are very cool coins to collect. I want to get a good collection of these at some point. These are neat. So first one is 1971. These are going to be $20 each. It's got some, kind of hard to tell under the scope. I wish I had the main cam, but this has got some cool toning going on. So there's a 1971. That's the design for this particular year. British Columbia. All right, moving on. To the 1974. Was the Winnipeg 100-year anniversary. All right, moving on. I'm just going to link all these years. That'll be quicker. So we're going to have 75, 76, 79, 83, 88. So that way I can just show them all. All right, so this one is a 75. 75's got the rodeo guy. And that is the 100-year anniversary of Calgary. And then 76. My birth year. It's the 100-year anniversary of that church. Which I think is actually also their what do they have? Like a parliament? Do they have a parliament? I think that's what they have. I think that's like their parliament building too. All right, and then 79. 79 has the Griffin. That's the name of that ship. Very cool one for anybody who likes boats on their coins. Here is the 1983. This is my wife's birth year. University of Edmonton. That is a sports themed. All right, and then the last one, the 1988. That one is decam all day long. You don't get much more decam than that. And this one has the two guys banging on the anvil. It's Les Forges du Saint Maurice Ironworks. I could do a bundle deal on these if anybody wants all of them. I could do all of them for $105. Which saves you $35. And by the way, makes each one of them 98 cents over melt if you do the deal. That is my big deal for the night. If anybody grabs that deal, you're getting each of these coins at 98 cents over melt. Which means the entire bundle is only $6.86 over melt. If nothing else, that is a heck of an investment opportunity. Silver goes up by $1. You pretty much now got them, well, if it goes up by $2, you pretty much got them under melt. Or right at melt. And Richard is taking that deal. Richard recognizes a good investment when he sees it. Let me get these all marked. All right. And the last coin from Canada. Somebody was asking for these recently. I don't remember who. But I finally have one. 1976, $10. 925 sterling silver. There is 1.4453 ounces of silver in this coin. It is Gem BU and $75. This is a big coin. This coin isn't a 2.5 by 2.5 flip. It doesn't fit in the standard 2x2s. Let's see. Current melt as of right this second on this coin is $54.04. Just in melt. Anybody? Trying to figure out. There's a whole series of these coins. I don't remember which one this one is. I thought it was a stadium, but it's not. All right. Moving on. All right, next up. This one is a very cool one. It's the first time I've ever had this one. This is a NIFC commemorative from another country. It's a 1964 10 kroner from Norway. So again, this is not intended for circulation coin. It is Gem BU and at 35 bucks. And that is be with the 150th anniversary of Eidsvoll, which is that, I think it's a church. Anybody? Some Viking silver for you right there. All right, moving on. All right, next up, we're on to Austria. And kicking off is 1971 25 shilling. The 200th anniversary of Vinbor's 80% silver AU, going for 18 bucks. Welcome back. Vienna Bourse. By the way, Dandy, make sure you actually get your payment in this time. I had to cancel your last one, so you're in the doghouse. Yeah, you never paid for the stuff from the last sale. I sent you multiple emails, a bunch of reminders, you never responded, so I eventually ended up having to cancel it. It's all good, just make sure you communicate with me. You communicate with me, I'm always willing to work with you guys. It's when I get ghosted and I don't hear from you guys is when I cancel stuff and I put you in the doghouse. Alright, moving on. To the 1973 25 shilling 100th anniversary of the birth of Max Reinhardt. 80% silver proof. Only 177,000 minted. And going for 35. Welcome back, Moose Hawks. They did. All of them went. All right, moving on. I'm sure I'll get him again. Next up, 1971 50 shilling. This is the Julius Rab coin. 90% silver proof. Only 183,000 minted and 35 bucks. That's never fun. Alright, moving on. And again, sorry if you guys are having a hard time seeing these. My main overhead camera died at the beginning of the stream, so we're having to show everything on the scope regardless of size. Alright, last one from Austria is a 1978 100 shilling. This is Araberg Tunnel. 64% silver BU, 28 bucks. Got some cool toning on it, too. All right, moving on. If anybody decides you want any of those, let me know. Next one, we got one coin from France. It has been a while since I've had one of these. I know there's at least some people that have been waiting for me to get some of these again. 1975, 50 francs from France. 90% silver, choice BU, 45 bucks. Also known as the Herculeans. These are big silver dollar size coins. $50 francs. Anybody? Wow, nobody wants that. That's surprising. All right, moving on. Hey, Aaron. Aaron, I know you're one of the people that's been asking for them. You missed it at the beginning. I have these on consignment. Unfortunately, my scope is the only camera working right now, so I can't show you on an overhead. 1974, 20 Balboas. I've got 5 still available. Jim BUs. They're 225 bucks each. Any of them that don't sell tonight are going back to the owner. And you are able to make payments on them. And if anybody wants multiple, I could do a better deal on it. A little bit better. It's not like ground-shakingly better, but a little bit better. But otherwise, $225. For 2 of them, I could do $410. So it'd save you 30 bucks. If you can do it in 2 payments, I can. Because that's going to be 4 weeks that he's going to be waiting for his money. So it'd be 205 and then 205 on your payments. Okay. I will put you down for 2 of them. So that leaves 3 left if anybody else wanted it. Nah. Oh, by the way, Aaron and Doug, do me a favor when you pay those, do it friends and family, so I don't lose the PayPal fees. Yeah, Aaron, I also have one of the Canadian $10 coins you've been asking about. It's still available. Nobody bought it. Alright, what was I doing? New Zealand. We got 2 coins from New Zealand tonight. First one is 1937 6p. $50 silver, extremely fine, $5. Hey, might as well do what makes you happy. The heck would she do with that? Moving on. And the other one is a 1940 6p. This one only had 800 minted. Or 800,000 minted, sorry. Again, extremely fine. This one's got some toning going on. $7. It's pretty bad. Alright, moving on. Predator Riverman. I lost the rubber band. Give me a new one. All right, next up. Here's another one you don't see very often. This is actually a 1 ounce silver coin. I sold, a while back, I sold a full set of these. It had every coin of the set in it. This is a 1993 3 ruble from Russia. It is the Bolshoi Ballet. 1 ounce silver coin. It is a proof and 65 bucks. You will not see these very often. These originally came in I wanted to say it was like a 12 coin set or something like that. Of all different coins. Yeah, it happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Oh, it's fine. You're good. I've been through it. I know how important it is to find places to vent. Right? Alright, moving on. I'm actually surprised nobody wanted that one. Alright, next up, we got a couple coins from Liberia. These are the those 3.9 fine silver. First one is from the year 2000, a $10 Generally and General Mead. 3.9 fine silver proof, going for 18 bucks. Pure silver. Anybody? Go to Bo. Gratzer. Alright, and then the other one, this one's a rarity. This one only had 20,000 minted. This is the 2006 $20 coin. Ratification of Congress. 3.9 fine silver proof. Going for 35 bucks. Only 20,000 of these ever made. I'd be willing to bet at least half of these have been melted down. With it being pure silver. Going to Aaron. Gratzer. All right, next up. I've got 2 of these available tonight. 470,000 of these were minted. Estimated about 80% of them have been melted down at this point. These are the 1964 1 crowns from Bermuda. 50% silver, GMBUs, $20 each. Well, Aaron, if it makes you feel any better, my marriage fell apart because I found out that my ex-wife was sleeping with basically everybody in Tucson but me.
No, that was not me.
No, that was not you. That's my ex-wife, not you. Anybody? $20 each. All right, moving on. All right, next 2. These are definitely a coin I have never had before. I've never had silver coins available from Paraguay before tonight. So this is a first for Cheapskate Coins. I have 2 of these available. They only had 250,000 minted. These are 1968 200 Guaranis. 72% silver BU. And they're $40 each. And again, figure about 80% of these have probably been melted down. 1 going to Aaron. Here's your reverse. Cool line. Anybody on the other one?
I missed on the last one, and I'm not going to miss it.
I don't remember ever having one of these before. One left available.
I don't think that he was talking about that coin. I think he was talking about a different coin.
Or I might have had one and I just forgot. Oh, that was a typo, by the way. It's supposed to say 300 Guarani, not 200. Let me fix that on here.
Boy. I'm not supposed to do that.
I'm not perfect.
I know, it happened.
All right, moving on. All right. And the last two world silver coins for the night are from the Netherlands. By the way, anybody who was hoping the 2-1 pesos from USA Philippines went in pre-sale. First one is a 1938 10 cent. 64% silver, extremely fine, $3. Can't go wrong with that. $3, almost 90 years old. I like them both. I think Austria coins beat both, personally. Austria coins are awesome. And a lot of the island nation coins are awesome. Someday I will rebuild my Egypt collection that I had to sell off. Alright, moving on. Because that's still some of my favorite is Egypt. Next up, 1944 S 10 centavo Netherlands. AU toned, $4. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately I had to sell my Cleopatra coin, but I at least still have my dirhams. And this one's going to Richard Gratzer. How many of you guys have ever seen a silver dirham from Egypt? They look like little square cubic coins. They're kind of neat. I can show you real quick before we get into American coins. I'll show you what they look like. So for anybody who's never seen them, these are from between 1399 and 1411 AD. Silver dirhams. And that's what they look like. So now that I don't have my Cleopatra coin anymore, these are now the crown jewel of my Egypt collection. I think they're neat. Heck, I'm still amazed that nobody's bought in the Philip II. That's freaking Alexander the Great's father, and it's like an EF, and nobody wants it. I've tried to sell it in multiple sales, and nobody wants it. Uh, 85. It's this one. I've shown it many times. Yeah, let me take it out of the thing. So, check that out, dude. That's the obverse. That's the head of Zeus. And then the reverse is the soldier riding on the horse. $359 to $336 BC. Kingdom of Macedonia. Philip II. Alexander the Great's father. Alexander the Great might have held this coin. I wouldn't be able to go that low. Lowest I could do on it would be like 75. All right, cool. Give me a sec. I got to add it to the bottom of the list. 359 to 336 BC. Yeah. BC. Philip II. Kingdom of Macedonia. D-O. Macedonia. .4 gram copper bronze. $75 to Richard. All right, got it added. I can tell you with 99% of surety, if you ever buy ancients from me, they are not counterfeits. For some of the older Rome ones, I might, like if they're really beat up, there has been occasions where I misidentified them. But they will never be counterfeit. If they're in decent shape, I won't misidentify it either. It's just some of the, when they get to a certain point of wear, some of the busts just all look exactly the same, so you're just kind of guessing. You know how it is. Next up, But yeah, that one I've even had Rick Snow has confirmed that one. All right, certain American coins, 1999 Lincoln proof, going for $2. Anybody? Oh yeah, Chinese counterfeits of ancients you can spot in a heartbeat. You can tell they're not ancients just at a glance. All right, moving on. In fact, the entire time I've been doing this, I've only ever had one counterfeit that slipped past me. And it was, it was either Chinese or Japanese. I don't remember right off which one it was. But it was one of those that's like the, I think it was like a 8 mace and 7 candarine or something like that. It was a silver coin that turned out to be a counterfeit, and it was actually turned out to be made of lead. That one slipped by me, and that was like the first year I was doing this. I'm pretty good at catching counterfeits. I have a whole collection of counterfeits, including the one I just told you about. Next up is 2000 Lincoln Cent proof. At least on some of the counterfeit silver coins, sometimes they're nice enough to actually make them out of silver. So at least you have the silver value. All right, moving on. And then the last one is 2 available. 2001. $2 each. Lincoln proofs. All right, moving on. And then I got the exact same years of Jefferson nickel proofs. I'm going to link them all real quick. So again, that's 99, 2000, and then 2 available of 2001s. And then if anybody wants all 8 of the proofs, I'll do it for $8. Because I'm just trying to clear these things out. I've had such a huge pile of these. I've been trying to just blow them out. So if anybody wants all 8, all 4 nickels and 4 pennies, I'll do it for $8. Not bad. Anytime you can get proof coins for $1 a piece. Well, you know, don't want to get into political stuff, but yeah, you're right. Anybody? Any of the individual, yeah. There you go. Richard is taking the deal for all 8. As I forgot how to talk there for a second. And Richard, if you do change your mind and decide you want to get at least one of those Balboas, there's still 3 left. Alright, next up, I got 2 of these available. The 99 and 2000 went in pre-sale. But these are 2001 Roosevelt Proof Dimes, 90% silver. Silver proofs. If anybody wants both, I'll do both for 8. Save you $2. Anybody? $5 each or 8 for both. Yeah, that's what happens when silver shoots up. Upside, yeah, all the stuff that you have that's silver just became worth a lot more. Downside, anything that new that you buy costs a lot more. It's a trade-off. All right, moving on. Next up, (2001) Silver Kennedy. $15. 90% silver proof. Kennedy $50. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, last 3 lots, and then we'll get into a recap. Is the 2002 available and the 2001 Sacagaway of Proofs. These are $4 each. There's the 2000, first year of the Sacagawea coin. The 2000. They couldn't get it. They wanted to start them in 99, but couldn't get it done in time, so they ended up doing the Susan B. Anthony for one more year. Because they already had some dies for that one, so all they had to do was change the date on it. So these actually started in 2000. And there's number 1 for the 01s, and here's number 2. So, all right, while you're looking at that, all right, recap. The both of the 1951 Gulden, Netherlands, and Tilly's are both still available. The 1944 1 franc Switzerland is still available. And from Canada, the 1943 10 cent, 1953 10 cent, 1964 10 cent AU, and one of the BU proof likes. 1965 10 cent. Surprisingly, the 1903 25 cent is still available. And the 1976 $10 is still available. Anybody from any of that I just mentioned, Canada, Switzerland, France, the France or Netherlands Antilles. Anybody on any of those? Hey, Go Mabel. Haven't seen you around in a bit. Hopefully you've been doing good. All right, the 1964 10 kroner Norway. That's that NIFC commemorative. All the Austrias, which is 1971 25 shilling, 73 25 shilling, 71 50 shilling, and the 7800 shilling. Those are all still available. The 1975 50 francs from France, the Herculean coin, is still available. Both New Zealand's, the 1993 3 ruble Russia, both the Bermuda crowns, one of the 300 guaranis from Paraguay, and the 1938 10 cent Netherlands. Anybody on any of that? That's all the world silver still available. All right, and then there's the silver dimes, $50, and the Sacagawea dollars. So the last call on everything. All right, so Aaron, you're covering all of your stuff plus 150 of the Balboas for tonight, right? Or this week. And then the remainder of the Balboa is in 2 weeks. That's what we said, right? If you didn't already leave. Yeah, there's only 3 people on. I'm guessing he already bailed. Alright, guys, I'm going to get out of here. As always, give me a bit to get the invoices done and out. And again, just a reminder, we are back on Tuesdays. So keep that in mind going forward. Everybody have a great night, and I will see you next time.